Hi, this is Rachel Sargent, and I'm here with Pro-Life Unity, and we're here at the CPAC conference, Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington, D.C. at the Warburton Park Marriott. And this here is
Andy Blum
with American Principles Project.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and your company.
Well, the American Principles Project, I'm the executive director of the American Principles Project, which is a 501c3, and American Principles in Action, which is a 501c4. And we do a couple of things. One is to bring the intellectual weight of Robbie George, people like that, into the public arena. More importantly, we're involved basically we're very firmly pro-family, pro-life, pro-marriage organization. We're involved in the basic idea that basic American principles are winning principles, and in advocating those principles, the right to life, without which there is no right to liberty or pursuit of happiness, and the basic American constitutional ideals. We have a couple of projects that might be of particular interest to you. One is Preserve Innocence. Preserve Innocence is about what is happening to our children. Because children no longer have a right to be children. They are inflicted with an almost pornographic level of teaching. And what this is doing is advocating that 10-year-olds need to be taught about the pleasures of sex. That what it does is to put the government between children and their parents' teaching and their faith teaching. So what's happening is that the government is attempting to breed a licentious culture. This is a very decidedly non-pro-life thing. We're teaching children that faith is unimportant, that parents' moral teaching is unimportant, that sex is only for their pleasure, and this is a natural lead-in to the fact that it is irresponsible. This produces a willingness to consider abortion, a willingness to consider, sex outside of marriage, a willingness to take the responsibilities of life very, very laxly. And we believe that it's important that we go back to teaching our children moral values, but also protecting our children from this onslaught from the government, which is it's not a slippery slope, it's a downhill ski run to immorality that is, continuing to prolong and to advocate the pro-choice irresponsibility that, frankly, is an epidemic problem in our country. That's a long answer to a very short question.
Well, thank you. That gives me a good idea of what you do, and that's very exciting that you take children and families so seriously.
It's very concerning. A number of things are going on where children, if you had a child in public school and you believed that abortion was wrong, or you believe that homosexual marriage is wrong, you have a child who has to pass classes in health and physical education, has to answer tests where they are saying exactly the opposite of what you're teaching in order to pass and get a grade. And this is, this is abrogating parental rights, but it's an assault on our children that's terrible because they're being caught between their teachers and their government. Because we think school is the school we went off to, and that it's a safe and sane environment where people are being taught right and wrong. Our schools today are propaganda factories for a left-wing agenda, and the product of that is sexual promiscuity and abortion.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really glad to have met you today, and I know a little more about your organization. It's wonderful what you're doing.
Come visit us, of course, at American Principles, AmericanPrinciplesProject.org, AmericanPrinciplesInAction.org, and PreserveInnocence.org, and the LatinoPartnership.org, where we are reaching out to Latinos to reach out to the basic Latino values of family and pro-life entrepreneurism and show them that truly they are conservatives and that Americans need to learn Latino values of pro-life, pro-family. We need to persuade Latinos to join us in the conservative movement before they and their children fall into the same trap. So come visit us at all our websites. We're really happy to see you. We admire what you're doing. Get the pro-life word out for all of us.
One more question before we go. How do you get the message out to these people? What type of skills or techniques do you use?
Well, of course we're using our websites, but it varies on project by project. We publish every month a Innocence report that tells people what's going on with sex education. That's available on our website. We distribute it all throughout Congress and all of the media. We're introducing legislation in various states. We introduced 2 pieces of preserve innocence legislation in Iowa this year to see that parents got to see curriculum materials before school starts so they could judge whether their children should be in that class. To allow private and Catholic schools, parochial schools, to opt out of teaching classes that are, morally or mission objectionable. So we're introducing legislation. We're introducing legislation in other states as well. We involve ourselves in political races. We will be involved in a state or a Senate or governor race on the Latino Project to reach out and show that Latinos will vote for conservatives. So we publish articles, we have videos, every possible way we can find to reach out. We will be doing conferences, every way we can find to reach out and spread this message. I'm very grateful to talk to you. Everybody who can hear and begin to be aware of the problems is an asset.